Hello and welcome into this edition of Outreach Radio Chicago. I am your host, Mike Mercado, and we thank you for making us a part of your day. On today's show, we have two very special guests from the Heart of a Marine Foundation. We have the Executive Director, Barbara Matsukes, and the co-founder, Roy Frank. Now, if you would like to listen to any past show that we've had, like with Susan Braun from the V Foundation or Sandy Pazarunas from Ups for Downs, please like us on Facebook at Outreach Radio Chicago or follow me on Twitter at mmercado2333 for any links or shares about the show or past guests. Now, today's episode of Outreach Radio Chicago is a very special one. It's a show dedicated to our veterans, anybody who has served our armed forces. When we first started Outreach Radio Chicago, we wanted to do a show right away about our armed forces, any way that we can help, any which way we can. And it just took looking in my backyard in Elk Grove Village to find the Heart of Marine. The Heart of Marine is dedicated in the memory of Philip E. Frank, who was killed in action April 8th, 2004. And on the website, you can actually hear a great passage. I'm going to read it for you folks right here. Phil was a very special young man. He was a loyal friend. He always placed the needs of others before his own. On September 11th, 2001, he watched as a plane crashed into the World Trade Center and the first tower crumbled to the ground. He resolved then and there to do something to protect his country and those he loved. He had just started his senior year in high school. Phil enlisted in the United States Marine Corps in November 2002. On the day he graduated boot camp at MCRD in San Diego, he introduced us to his fellow graduates. He explained that because they were his brothers, they were our sons now. When Phil prepared to leave for Iraq, he said, "Where can a guy like me be part of freeing 35 million people from the tyranny of Saddam Hussein?" Phil wanted to be part of bringing democracy and freedom, like we have here and so take for granted, to the people of Iraq. Phil honored us by the way he lived his life and by the way he gave his life. To serve Phil's military brothers and sisters, to honor his memory, and to continue his caring spirit, we created the Heart of Marine Foundation. Roy Frank, Barbara Matsukes join us next here on Outreach Radio Chicago. Thank you for keeping it with us here on Outreach Radio Chicago. I am Mike Mercado, and we have our very, very special guest on the lines right now. He is Roy Frank. He's the co-founder of the foundation, the Heart of a Marine, along with his wife, Georgette. And we got the executive director of the foundation, Barbara Matsukes. I'm so happy to have you guys on today. Let me just say it is an honor. It is a pleasure. Any people who have family members or any type of work with the military armed forces, I thank you is owed to you guys. For anybody with the family members who have gone to serve for us, thank you for that sacrifice of letting your loved ones protect us and for all the work you guys do. So, Roy, Barbara, thank you for joining us on Outreach Radio Chicago. How are you guys?
No, we're wonderful. Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you. We've been working on this for a little while, and let me just say it's one of the first things that when we started the new Outreach Radio, we wanted to make sure that we got something as soon as possible for our military people to show that we care, because sometimes I think that gets lost in this hectic world that we live in. But I'm actually from Elk Grove Village, and when I heard about this foundation, I I had to jump on it. I had to make sure that we were able to spread the word. And as I'm really reading about Phil, and we actually we're blessed right now to have Roy Frank, who's Phil's father, on the line. And I just really, I don't know how else to say it. It touched me. I was reading earlier to our audience that lovely passage you guys have on the website. Can you guys just give us a little bit about Phil before we really get into the foundation and the business end of it? Can we talk about what sounds like an amazing young man?
Mm-hmm. Well, the children of parents always seem exceptional to those parents. We, and just like all other parents, found our son to be exceptional, but in some very, very unique ways. All through his young life, he was the protector, the one who stopped the bully from beating up the smaller kids, and he carried through that all the way through high school. And this incredible care for other people, concern for other people, the protector spirit that he had, we always found to be unique, and it gave us, great pleasure in knowing that he had such integrity, and he was so conscientious about that.
Do you see it as as your children grow older, and you say you saw him being a protector? Could you kind of see it in him? You could kind of see that route was heading in that direction.
Yeah. So he began the anti-bullying thing in grammar school, and again continued, as he got older and stronger, all the way through high school, and developed a reputation that people wouldn't bother with him or mess with him, because if he was, taking care of somebody, they knew they were going to have some trouble.
I love it. There you go.
Right.
Now, as a parent, when he came up to you, and I was reading the passage after that day, I was 11 years old when September 11th happened. And it's funny, I always talk to my parents about that, how if I was 18, I don't know how, I don't know if I would have had any different of a reaction being a young man from the United States, having so much love for family and country, and then seeing something like that. Being a father and with your wife, and this is happening, and you already could just tell the type of man your son was, that, okay, this is what he's going to go do.
Well, this is also a kind of a unique thing. I mean, we knew of, certain instances and things that he had done, but he kept it very, very private and very quiet. And it was only after that we lost him, that at a memorial service we had from New Jersey, tons of people showed up, including a lot of kids and a lot of his teachers from school, and they related stories to us that we never knew, and that was just incredible part of it, because it wasn't a thing to brag about or to talk about. It was just something that he did, and it was just a part of the way that he functioned in life. He was just always the protector.
Yeah, you can hear how proud you are when you say he didn't want any celebration, he didn't want any glamour. That's what he did. That's the kind of man he was. That's just, to me, I find so much respect in that. And you could kind of just hear it in your voice.
Mm-hmm. Well, believe me, my son was everything I ever wanted in a son and more. And I will treasure his memory every day of the rest of my life, for the man he was, for the incredible spirit that he imparted to other people, and for the joy that he gave people. He was, to us, very unique.
And it's amazing because men like that, people like that, leave a lasting impression. And what the impression is now is what's going on, what you guys are doing over here with the Heart of a Marine Foundation. It's amazing. I was reading over some of these stats that I got during production, some of the things you guys are doing for veterans that have lost limbs. And to me, it's like, he goes out to protect and serve, and he's been doing this his whole life. And even to this day, he's still trying to help and protect his fellow brothers and sisters. And he has, with the love and support of his family, friends, his parents, that spirit is still fighting strong.
Well, it is we founded the foundation as kind of a picture of his spirit and the way he conducted his life. And we believe that, if God had chosen to take Philip from this earth, that it was our responsibility as his parents to continue that incredible spirit. And what better way to continue it than toward the people he called his brothers and sisters in the military? And we do that this day and continue to do that, I would say, for as long as there's breath in our body, because we do love and respect our military.
Mm-hmm.
We have a kind of a vague idea, because you don't know it unless you do it, but a vague idea of the incredible service and sacrifice that they impart for this nation. So we love them and bless them and try to do everything we possibly can to improve the quality of their lives.
And you know what? I think that's sometimes a part of it that goes very undertold is the family and all of this. So as a parent, tell me, how does it feel when your son is going to go do this? Like, what is the emotion that the family goes through? For anybody who's listening right now that might have a senior in high school who's looking out to join the armed forces, can you tell some of the parents or some of the family, brothers or sisters, of how to be strong for them, how to be proud, how to handle a situation like this?
Well, we kind of knew this was coming because on 9/11, we lived in New Jersey. We lived in a house that was right on Raritan Bay.
Okay.
And we had a bird's eye view of the New York skyline.
Wow.
And Phil and I stood on the seawall and watched the World Trade Center burn that day. And that evening, he came to us and he said, "If we go to war over this, I'm gone." And Georgette said to him, "Phil, you got to cool your jets, because they're not taking sophomores in high school in the military right now."
Right.
So he said, she said, if the time comes you make that decision, fine. But she said, you can't consider that right now. But we always knew, I think ever since he was a young child, that he had this penchant to be in the military. And it wound up, of course, coming true.
And it sounded like he always had a lot of support. And I think that's where a lot of the strength came from too, right?
Well, of course. The thing, it's always a choice for parents. When your child comes to you and says, "I'm going to join the military," you always have two choices. You can say, "No, I never want you to do that. It's too dangerous. I'm afraid. And this and that." Or you can tell them, "We support you 100%, and we support your patriotism and what you want to do for the country." I know that Georgette will always tell the same story, that the day he told us he was going to join the Marine Corps, she said, "My mother's heart screamed, no!" She said, but in the look in his eye, the pride that he had in the adventure to become a Marine, she said, "I could do nothing but wrap my arms around him and say to him, we will support you 100% in the decision you make, and we're very, very proud of it."
That's awesome. I mean, it's sometimes when you hear the strength in the stories of these military families that it's almost unimaginable. It's hard to really understand. I've had cousins and uncles and aunts join. I've never had a brother or a mom or a dad who've done it, and I hear these stories and it's the love and how proud, and sometimes when the sacrifice is made, that the proud level goes up even higher, because something like this happens where you have over 6,100 cans given to any military service member in need, over 2,500 donated to Edward Hines Jr. Virginia Hospital, and just so many different things. The package projects sent to touch homes of morale boost to those overseas. And you guys are doing this because of the love and strength that you guys got from your son.
That is correct. Absolutely correct. And I think that, Georgette and I will be at an event, or we'll be giving canes to somebody, or doing packages, or donating aphasia software and computers. And Georgette will look at me and she said, "Phil's sitting right over in the corner looking at us."
Yeah,
that's a way to go, Mom and Dad. Way to go.
And you know what? So you're a professional. That's a great transition. I was going to ask you, he's obviously looking down at us right now, smiling, proud, rooting on the Blackhawks, getting ready for all this. But what would you think he would say right now about the foundation, and also anybody listening that is thinking and is proud, that wants to join the armed forces that, might be scared or might have some family that is nervous about it, what would you think he would say to us right now?
I think he would say, follow your heart. I find the thing that I found with so many people that I've met, we've met so many people in the military, in the Army, the Marine Corps, the Navy, and it has always seemed to me that they had a predilection to do that. And they have that willingness to do that because they are people who have a serving mind and a serving conscience. They're proud of their country, they're patriotic, and they believe that this is what they should be doing. They believe it's a calling. And I know my son had that, and so many other military people that I talk to share that, hey, I have to do this. I have to take care of the country. I have to protect the country for my family and for my wife and my children, or whatever situation that they're in. And I think that's a relatively simple explanation. That if you do have that calling, you do have that feeling to be in the military, to protect the country, and you're proud and love this country, follow your heart and do it. And if you are the parents of that child, support them, because it's devastating not to support them when they make those decisions. And I have met some people who were not supported, and they never kind of got over it. They wanted their parents with them, and the parents were absolutely against it. And it was just, it's not a good thing to deny support to a dedicated young person who does believe in what they're doing in protecting the country and joining the military. And it's just a wonderful thing, and I'll be eternally proud till the day I'm gone that my son joined the Marine Corps.
Well, I just want you to know that we are all here grateful for your son, for you guys. We're proud of all you guys. I mean, I don't think there's anything that we could say that it's all underwhelming, the gratitude that we have towards your family and your foundation. Now, it actually, the great words that you were speaking, for those that don't have the support, is it possible for them to reach out to the Heart of a Marine, and maybe if they need to have some type of pick me up, a pep talk to stay on the right course?
So, I would think that if you believe in the military, if you are truly grateful for the service that they serve and sacrifice that they provide, and let's be very clear about this. They are 1% of the population of this country. 1% that takes care of the other 330 million people and protects them against evil and wrongdoing. So if you believe in that and you believe in them, believe in us, because we are trying to do everything that we can to make their lives better.
Can you please just say that one more time? 1%?
Yeah, the military is 1%, and every one of them that serves in all the 5 branches is a volunteer. Nobody is pulled off the street and forced to put a uniform on and go serve the country. Every one of them steps forward to volunteer and say, I will protect the country.
I don't know if there's any other words that can drive that kind of point home. It's if nothing else can do it. Roy Frank, can we talk a little bit about and Barbara, if you want to as well, please. Can we get your input? What do you guys have going on right now with the Heart of Marine? I mean, obviously the spirit is running strong with you guys. So I know you guys have a lot of really cool things you guys have done already. Well, can you guys give us a little information about that?
Sure, I'd love to. First, I just want to say it is such an honor to work for the Franks and for the Heart of a Marine Foundation. And it's not work. I'm telling you, it's not work.
Yeah, that's always good. Makes the day go by faster.
It really is. It's such an honor and a privilege to do whatever you can do for our military. I echo Roy's sentiments. I have a deep, deep, deep respect and respect for our armed forces. Many of my family members were in the military as well, and so I stand very proud with the Franks in doing whatever I can for our veterans, active duty, their families, and so on. But in any event, we do have some things coming, some things going on. As a matter of fact, today, I know that this is it's not a pleasant issue to think about, but just as in everything else, there are homeless veterans There are homeless veterans out there. It's hard to say those two words in the same sentence.
I know that's one of those shameful just black marks on our society right now. We're hoping that that's actually one of the goals over the next few months is to do a show specifically on that here on Outreach Radio Chicago. So if you have any work that you guys have done already, can you please elaborate on that?
Oh, sure, of course. We do what we can in the homeless veteran community. We work with several organizations, one of which we're going to today, and it is a residence of 15 men. It's in Chicago on the near west side, and we have become quite acquainted with them. We see what they need. Actually, we've asked them to provide us with a wish list, if they will, and we try to accomplish whatever we can. Whatever they need to make their facility more of a home. This is a transitional center, so the 15 men that do reside there are either in school or maybe going through some medical treatment, or they have a job. And so they are productive members of society, and they've just fallen on some hard times. So we come in, and how we met them is I can't even remember, but the very first project we did, we heard of what was going on in their home. And, well, here's what was happening. We heard that they were using pillowcases stuffed with towels and using them as pillows.
Unreal.
So we just said, that's just crazy. Show us what you've got. What do you got going on here? So they showed us, and the long and the short of it was we provided them with 15 new mattresses and box frames, 30 sets of sheets and pillows. And so, if you've got to call somewhere your home, it's always nice to have a good night's sleep. You will always face the next day better if you can have a good night's sleep. So what we did was try to provide that for them in new mattresses and bedding. When we made that delivery, one of the veterans there was so overwhelmed, and they were cleft with excitement, quite honestly. But the young man looked at me and said, "Ma'am, this is great, but I'll tell you, our washers and dryers are never going to be able to take this kind of laundry load." And I just said, "Is that so, son?" I said, "Take me to those washers and dryers," and it was the truth. The young man took me to the basement of this facility. It was ridiculous. So let's just say within the next 30 days, they had commercial grade washers and dryers as well.
That's as unfortunate as it is that they were in that situation, which to me that's almost embarrassing for us as people, that is actually the case for people who sacrificed so much, never getting the glamour that, let's say, a football player would, or a basketball player would, or anybody like that. Doesn't get any glamour, any appreciation, is sleeping with pillows with blankets in them, and doesn't have, and their concern is that their washer won't be able to handle it.
Yeah.
And that just shows the great work that you guys are doing, though. I mean, you guys just made literally a lifetime of a difference.
We hope so. We do. And we continue to ask the same group of people what they need. Situations change. The men, fortunately, come and go, or unfortunately come in, but fortunately they go. They get educated. They get job experience. And so then sometimes they move on and get apartments of their own and such. So that's always a victory. But there's always people coming into this facility. So we're checking back with them today and actually going shopping with them to purchase some commercial-grade kitchen utensils, like commercial-grade pots and pans and such. Last year, about this time, we renovated their kitchen with new stainless steel things. So now they needed new amenities to go in their kitchen. So we're just working, and we're doing what we can for our homeless veterans, but also for veterans in general and active duty. We have what we call our Walking Tall project. As you had mentioned that a moment ago regarding giving out canes to any service member.
Yes.
And we have a partnership with Edward Hines Jr. VA Hospital in Chicago as well. So we work with different organizations and individuals to see that they can walk tall, so their infirmaries won't keep them from living a comfortable life that they need to do. So, and along the way, we work on working on events to subsidize financially these things. So in the summer, we have a series of events coming up. Some people are hosting motorcycle rallies for us. We've got a beer tasting event coming up in August.
And magic words.
all of those things. Well, you will be invited.
Thank you.
And anyway, so we do have events coming up that help financially whatever. It helps financially take care of the program. Articulate is not my stronghold today. So and all of that information is on our website, heartsofamarine.org.
Heartsofamarine.org. They have all of their programs, any of the events that they have coming up. I've been reading all the information that you guys have, like the walking tall, so things like that. And it's amazing to me because you guys have so much fun with these things too, right?
Yes, we do.
It's a ball.
It's a blast.
Doing this for people is a riot. It's an absolute pleasure and a joy, and especially the caliber of these people, because we know to a degree what they've done, and what they've sacrificed. And that is, it's our way of paying them back in a very, very small way for the service and sacrifice they have provided for this country.
And that is heartsofamarine.org. And that is if you guys want to see any of the cool stuff that they have going on. Now, if anybody wants to donate any cool things, want to volunteer some of the time, is there a phone number? Is there anywhere they could reach out to you guys?
Well, you can also do that through the website. We have donate buttons that goes through PayPal. So if you'd like to donate monetarily, you can do that through the website. If you wanted to talk volunteerism, you can call myself. We have a volunteer coordinator. But the general thing is give the foundation a call at 847-621-7324. And we can direct you in the proper way. If you have a donation to make or you're interested in volunteering, or maybe you but for whatever reason, please give the foundation a call and we can put you in the right direction as to whatever your question may be.
Before I let you go, let me just say a couple of things. First, to Barbara, let me just say thank you so much. You have been an absolute pleasure to anybody listening right now. Barbara has been a champion when it comes to making sure that this interview happens. She's been awesome, so we want to make sure that she gets the credit she deserves to helping us make sure this happens. And to Roy, Frank, and to Georgette, let me just say, it never could go enough. Nobody can ever say it enough. I know I've said it 1,000 times on the show. I'll say it 1,000 more times. Thank you to your family. Thank you to your son. Thank you to both you and everybody part of this organization for what you guys do. I apologize for any time the proper respect and admiration has not been given to yourselves, your family, anybody part of the military brand. It's a chaotic, crazy world. Sometimes we lose our priorities, but I think in any case, when you listen to a show with guests like you guys today and you see what you could do with the Heart of a Marine and you hear a story about Philip, and I just want to say thank you guys for joining us today on Outreach Radio Chicago.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you so much for your time and listen to us and talk about the Heart of a Marine.
Any other time you have something going on with the military, like you said you wanted to maybe do a spotlight or something on homeless veteran situation in this area, please give us a call. So we're at your disposal.
Absolutely. And what we're going to do is we're going to post up everything on Facebook where Outreach Radio Chicago is following the Heart of a Marine. So we're going to be sharing any cool thing that they're doing, any cool fun stuff that we think that you guys should be involved in. Make sure you follow them on Facebook. And they're great people doing some great stuff. It's an amazing story, an amazing family, amazing people. Barbara, Roy, please make sure you guys say everybody over there that we said hello. And we look forward to having you guys back on the show.
We'll be here anytime.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too, Mike.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
And that'll do it for us on this edition of Outreach Radio Chicago. A big thank you to Heart of Marines, Roy Frank, the co-founder and father of Philip Frank. Barbara Matsukes, the executive director of Heart of a Marine Foundation. Please like the page on Facebook at Outreach Radio Chicago or follow me on Twitter at mmercado2333. For everybody here at the Access Radio family, we will see you next time on Outreach Radio Chicago. Have a good one.